it seems to me that the emphasis on sanism within the psychiatric system is causing a lot of schizophrenics and mental patients to basically hate what they are and try and fit in with the rigid conformity of society. Indeed, some of the schizophrenics that I met in the psychiatric hospital were really quite uninspiring people and were programmed by the sanist agenda and were basically hating themselves for being mentally unwell and criticizing those of us that basically spoke about theories on the system, etc. Indeed, these more uninspiring schizophrenic individuals were more concerned with buying designer clothes and these kind of preoccupations and trying to fit into a society which is never actually going to accept them. Indeed, I embrace my lunacy, and I hope these more uninspiring schizophrenics, which are a minority, I hope these more uninspiring schizophrenics break out of the matrix that the sanist complex of the psychiatric system, the Combine, is trying to fit them into. I hope they break out of this matrix system and embrace their lunacy and embrace who they are and what they are. Indeed, they are basically being programmed by the Masonic networks that coordinate the psychiatric system. Indeed, the psychiatric system itself is overseen by the Hospitallers, who are Knights of Malta, and the Knights of Malta are a Masonic network having been coordinated by the Templars for several centuries, despite initially being rivals. And the Hospitallers oversee the mental health system through MI6 and various networks of psychiatrists who are contracted by the intelligence services. Indeed, the majority of male psychiatrists, at least, are Freemasons, and many of the female psychiatrists also have connections to various secret societies. And they are operative to destroy the individuality that being crazy allows the schizophrenic psychiatric patient. Indeed, they wish to destroy the creativity and individuality of the mental patient and basically dumb the mental patient down, fatten the mental patient up, destroy the confidence and individuality of the mental patient, and force the mental patient into becoming a corporate slave. Indeed, this is all the psychiatric system is geared up to do. And basically, the entire networks of staff within the psychiatric hospitals are clueless and are basically operating for a Masonic system without realizing that they are just pawns of the Masons running the psychiatric establishment, and that the eventual goal is not to care for the mentally ill, but to condition the mentally ill. That is all the psychiatric system is doing, is conditioning the mentally ill, containing and conditioning the mentally ill because of a sanist current within the Masonic networks, psychiatry, and wider society. Indeed, the psychiatric system does not care for its mental patients. All the psychiatric system, which is a eugenicist system, does is force feed psychiatric patients poisonous substances, which are basically chemical lobotomies and inhibit the creative processes and intellectual thinking of the mental patient. That is all that the antipsychotic drugs are doing. Indeed, all they've done for me is dull me down, and my brain is not thinking as fast as I would like it to, and my memory is beginning to severely suffer. I also experience severe physical side effects from the medication, and the psychiatric system does not care about the problems that I am having due to the medication. The psychiatric system just wants me contained. And indeed, in my case, the psychiatric system wants me contained because of the things I say about Wiltshire Police, the intelligence services, and the situation in the United Kingdom with the adherents of the faith of Ishmael. The psychiatric system was simply wishing to silence me, basically. Indeed, I'm half expecting to be issued with some sort of gag order in the future by the psychiatric services, whereby I will no longer be allowed to make videos. Indeed, I believe there has been a police officer who has stated to someone that they would rather I didn't have an internet connection, which is very interesting to consider. Indeed, I think about the reaction of Wiltshire Police to me over the years, and I think if I wasn't telling the truth, as they tell the public, basically, they tell the public that I'm not telling the truth, and if I wasn't telling the truth, they wouldn't have reacted the way they did. Indeed, it seems that the population of devises who were protecting the local police force from my accusations were basically bots programmed to protect the Matrix. Indeed, they do not want to break out of their very sad lives that they're living. Indeed, most of the morons in these small towns are living very sad lives and hate themselves. And their hatred of me is actually a reflection of their hatred of themselves. So they're projecting their hatred of themselves on me and attempting to cast me as some sort of demon simply for breaking out of the Matrix and attempting to break other people out of the Matrix. So it's all a rather interesting scenario. Indeed, I've been thinking about the Russian intelligence structure and how much control the Masonic networks of the Anglo-German Masonic body have over the Russian intelligence structure. Indeed, Vlad Putin was an initiate of Royal Arch Freemasonry until at least 1994. Indeed, prior to 1994, he was crowned in a Masonic ceremonial ritual as the Antichrist, basically. Indeed, there is an endgame scenario whereby the Vlad Putin serves the purpose of being the boogeyman, basically, of the Western states. And the Western states will point to Vlad Putin as the most evil guy on earth, which is basically what is happening in the Western media. But Vlad Putin, as an initiate of Royal Arch Freemasonry, is merely playing his role. Indeed, I also believe that Vlad Putin is programmed with electroshock treatment, and he is literally a puppet of the secret societies running the Western intelligence structures. So the crackdown of the Putin government in Russia at the moment, which is basically a Russian equivalent of fascism being instituted in Russia, complete with what's been described as a digital concentration camp. Indeed, his crackdown on independent information sources and the freedom of speech of the Russian population is probably part of the endgame agenda, whereby the Russian population can be coerced into activities against Western states, etc., and the Putin regime can potentially centralize its power. But this is all part of the end game regarding what is going to happen with the role of Russia in the apocalypse scenario of the West that is being engineered. Indeed, I am not quite sure exactly what is going to happen. Indeed, Russians are different from British people. Indeed, the Russian brain is different. And a lot of this is due to the fact that Russians are aware that their government is a terrible operation. They are aware that the police are a syndicate and they are aware that the intelligence services basically have a monopoly on their lives. British people, however, are completely unaware of the fact that their government is a terrible entity, that their police are a cartel, and that the intelligence structure in the United Kingdom has a complete monopoly over everyone's lives. Russians are aware of this, the majority of them. British people are not aware, apart from perhaps literally a very small percentage. So it's very interesting. Indeed, the Russian intelligence structure does seem to have been heavily penetrated by the British intelligence networks and the Masonic lodges within the British intelligence networks, and also the German Masonic lodges represented now by the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. Indeed, I have previously surmised that Russian intelligence, as we know it in its modern form, in the early 1800s, was basically set up by the Prussian intelligence services, which are a continuum which links to today's Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. Though I am hoping that there are Russian intelligence factions that are independent of this Masonic monopoly. Indeed, it's all interconnecting webs weaved by Masonic networks that are basically coordinating what is going on in the Russian Federation at the moment. Indeed, I am convinced that Putin is still being controlled by networks of secret societies. Indeed, he is just a pawn in a larger agenda. Indeed, the Royal Arch Freemasons of British intelligence have intrigues with Vlad Putin. Indeed, I believe perhaps some independent Russian secret societies centered around the old KGB networks close to the Russian Communist Party, which may or may not have been independent of the Royal Arch Masonic and German Masonic networks. But Putin is definitely a controlled puppet of these networks, whoever they may exactly be. Indeed, the end game of the Illuminati and Royal Arch Freemason networks does seem to center around Israel and something that may occur in Israel. Indeed, it is a false projection of the end times of the various Abrahamic religions. And basically, they're going to create a false end time scenario. And there are many theorists who believe that the Russian state will basically form an army with various Middle Eastern Islamic nations, and they will all attack Israel. And this will cause a global war of epic proportions. Indeed, this is all being engineered so that all of the populations of various countries will exhaust themselves and then will basically ask the Masonic networks for security, and thereby the Masonic networks can implement their state structures which they have been engineering for the past 250 years. Indeed, this is basically an endgame strategy that I explained in a previous video, and it's interesting the role that Russia is being built up for. And as I stated before, Russian intelligence services are very notorious for their interagency rivalry, and even factions within agencies having rivalries. So it's all very interesting because the intellectuals within the Russian population and schizophrenics within the Russian population have probably figured out exactly what is going on, but because of the monolithic state structure of the neo KGB elements within the Russian security services, it is very difficult for that information to get out. And so Russia is being built up as a monster in the eyes of the West, but this is not actually the case. Indeed, Russia is not as powerful as the British media makes it out to be. Indeed, it's all a very interesting situation, and I guess we're going to see what happens. I always seem to end the video with saying basically the same words, I've noticed. Indeed, I'm going to end it there because the weaponry is starting to make me feel a little bit unwell. All right, bye bye.